There are moments when living with a cat feels quietly mysterious. You notice them watching doorways before anyone arrives, positioning themselves closer to you when something feels off, or suddenly becoming alert for reasons you can't quite explain. These moments often feel instinctive, almost ancient, as if your cat knows something before you do. Today, we're going to explore one of those hidden connections. Not a trick, not a command, but a sound, a specific way of using your voice that can deepen your cat's sense of trust, safety, and attachment to you. And when that bond becomes strong enough, protection becomes a natural outcome. Welcome to Cat Facts Funny. Settle in, get comfortable, and let's step into the quieter, emotional world cats have been living in all along. The human assumption about protection. Most people assume cats don't protect humans. They see dogs as guardians and cats as observers. Independent, self-contained, uninterested in defense. But that belief comes from misunderstanding how cats express loyalty. Cats don't protect loudly. They protect through awareness, positioning, and presence. In the wild, cats survive by reading their environment with precision. They listen more than they react. They assess before they act. When a cat chooses to monitor a space for your safety, it isn't dramatic, it's deliberate. And that decision is never random. It's rooted in trust. Why sound matters more than words. Cats don't process language the way humans do. When you speak to your cat, they're not decoding vocabulary or grammar. They're listening for something deeper. Tone, rhythm, emotional consistency. Your voice becomes information, not instruction. Sound carries intention, carries emotional state. And for cats, sound is one of the fastest ways to determine whether a situation is safe or uncertain. Long before touch, long before routines, voice is often the first signal a cat uses to decide how close they will allow you to be. A cat's memory of safety. From the earliest days of life, kittens learn safety through sound. A mother cat doesn't explain comfort, she communicates it. Low, steady vocalizations, rhythmic purring, and consistent tones create an emotional blueprint in the kitten's brain. That blueprint doesn't disappear with age. Adult cats still respond to those same qualities. They are listening for familiarity, steadiness, and emotional calm. When they hear it, their nervous system softens. And when a nervous system feels safe enough, deeper bonds begin to form. The difference between noise and communication. Many people speak to cats constantly, but very few truly communicate with them. High-pitched voices, rapid speech, emotional inconsistency, these are common and often well-intended. But to a cat, they can feel unpredictable or overstimulating. Cats are drawn to voices that feel grounded, voices that don't rush, voices that arrive with patience rather than urgency. When your voice becomes a stable presence instead of background noise, your cat begins to register you differently, not just as a caretaker, but as part of their inner safety map. The sound that changes the relationship. The sound itself isn't magical. It's not a whistle or a special word. It's a combination of three things: a slightly lowered tone, a gentle rhythm, and emotional sincerity. Together, they create something cats recognize instinctively. When you speak slowly, from a relaxed place, with space between phrases, your cat's brain has time to process and associate. Over time, that sound becomes familiar. Familiar becomes safe. And safe becomes something worth watching over. How trust turns into protection. Protection in cats doesn't come from dominance or training. It comes from belonging. When a cat feels that you are part of their emotional territory, they begin to include you in their awareness. They watch entrances. They listen more closely to unfamiliar sounds. They place themselves where they can observe both you and the environment. This isn't aggression. It's guardianship through attention. And it only happens when a cat feels emotionally secure enough to extend their instincts beyond themselves. Small changes you might notice first. Before protection becomes obvious, the bond shifts quietly. These changes don't announce themselves, and they're easy to miss if you're not looking for them. Your cat may begin choosing spots closer to you, especially during moments when the environment feels uncertain or unfamiliar. It's not clinginess, it's recalibration. You might notice your cat responding to your voice more quickly than before. Not rushing, not startled, but attentive. A small ear movement, a subtle head turn, a pause in what they're doing just to listen. These are signs that your voice has moved from background sound to meaningful signal. Eye contact often changes as well. It may last a little longer, feel softer, less guarded. Your cat's body language may relax when you speak. Shoulders lowering, tail resting instead of flicking, posture settling instead of preparing to move away. These are early indicators that something important is forming. Your voice is no longer just noise in the environment. It carries reassurance, predictability, and emotional weight. And your cat is beginning to associate you with stability rather than stimulation. Why consistency matters more than volume. Cats are pattern-based learners. They don't respond to intensity the way humans do, they respond to reliability. One calm interaction doesn't reshape a relationship, but repeated calm interactions begin to change how your cat anticipates the world. When your voice shows up the same way each day, especially during neutral and peaceful moments, your cat's brain starts building long-term associations. Calm tone becomes expected. Predictable rhythm becomes familiar. Familiarity becomes safety. This is why consistency matters far more than enthusiasm. Loud affection, sudden excitement, or emotional swings may feel loving to us, but to a cat they can feel unstable. A quiet, steady presence repeated over time creates a sense of emotional ground your cat can stand on. Cats notice who remains the same, who doesn't rush them, who doesn't demand a response. Emotional reliability is one of the strongest signals of trust in the feline world. Mutual protection, the missing piece. One of the most overlooked aspects of feline bonding is reciprocity. Cats don't offer protection automatically, and they don't offer it out of obligation. They observe first. They watch how you move through the world with them in it. When you create safe spaces, respect their boundaries, and step in when they're overwhelmed, your cat notices. When you block stress instead of adding to it, when you respond instead of react, your cat files that information away. It becomes part of how they assess you. Protection then becomes mutual, not dramatic, not symbolic, but real. Your cat understands that safety doesn't flow in only one direction. And when that understanding settles in, their instincts expand. Awareness widens. You're no longer just sharing space. You're sharing responsibility within their emotional territory. What this bond really represents. This connection isn't about controlling behavior. It isn't about forcing loyalty or shaping your cat into something they're not. It's about communication that respects who cats are at their core. Quiet, observant, emotionally precise. Cats don't need to be convinced to care. They need to feel understood. When communication aligns with their internal rhythms, trust grows naturally, without pressure or performance. When you speak in a way that fits their world, you're not asking your cat to change. You're meeting them where they already live. And in that space, connection doesn't need to be taught. It simply unfolds. Living with feline friend provides unintended benefits mutually. Instinctively, protection motivation is just one of them cat gives to you. Which one is real? True, you protecting your house cat from staying outside, or home cat protects you with their spiritual awareness? That is the critical question. At its heart, the sound that deepens your cat's bond with you isn't really about sound at all. It's about presence, about emotional honesty, about showing up in a way that feels safe, predictable, and calm. Your cat has been listening to you this whole time. Not for words, but for reassurance. And when they find it, something shifts. Trust deepens, awareness expands, and protection becomes a quiet promise, not a performance. If this helped you see your relationship with your cat a little differently, share your experience in the comments. I read every one. And if you enjoy exploring the subtle emotional lives of cats, Consider subscribing for more moments like this. Thank you for spending this time with me and with your cat. We'll see you in the next one.